Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here and today it's time for episode 2 of our F1 2013 Williams Road to Recovery Career Mode series. What a mouthful that is. But today we are at Malaysia. For the eagle-eyed of you who noticed a moment ago, my objective was to finish third or above. I'll go through that in a moment. But here, just going through the strategy, this will be a one-stop race. I'll be switching from options at the start to prime. But now it's time for the qualifying report. So in Q1, Williams were fastest for the second time in a row, with the SFB top by a few hundredths of a second ahead of Alonso and Webber on primes. Only Williams, Toro Rosso and Force India used options, but that didn't stop Sutil and Maldonado dropping out of the first hurdle. In the battle of the bottom, Marussia got the better of Caterham. Everyone chose options for Q2 as Hamilton went fastest from Alonso. Promising amount of pace for Sauber and Williams as Hulkenberg and SFB made it into the shootout. Massa will be disappointed with 15th, as will Button with 16th. In a hectic final shootout, it would once again be Sebastian Vettel who came out on top ahead of both Mercedes. Lotus could only manage 7th for Grosjean and 9th for Raikkonen, whilst Williams had a man in the top 5 for the first time since the 2012 Spanish Grand Prix. So all of this means that Sebastian Vettel will be on pole for the Malaysian Grand Prix ahead of Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. It's 5th the SFB for Williams, 6th is Webber, 7th Grosjean, 8th Hulkenberg, 9th Raikkonen, and in 10th Sergio Perez for Vodafone McLaren Mercedes. So yes, an incredible 5th place on the grid. I wasn't expecting anywhere near that. I wasn't even expecting to get into Q3, to be honest, because last time I did a career mode race at Malaysia, I think I started at the back, so I was very happy with that. By the way, I'm not on intermediate like I said, I think I was last episode. I'm actually racing on professional, which is the medium difficulty. I might have to step it up to expert. You never know. But here we go. We're about to get underway. We are. Good start there from Alonso and from Hamilton ahead. Not a great start from Rosberg. An okay start from me. We now have Mark Webber haranguing us behind. Nico Hulkenberg's got an absolutely stonking start to the left-hand side in the Sauber. We break here into turn one. Everyone's very cautious, trying not to take each other out. They're just tapping into the back of Rosberg as Raikkonen goes up the inside. Going to try and go round the outside of Rosberg. How slow the AIR is actually incredible. The only reason I couldn't really go faster was because Alonso was blocking me, but ahead Vettel and Hamilton, they're battling for the lead. Alonso is third. We find ourselves in 4th with Rosberg behind, and Alonso ploughs into the back of Vettel, destroying his front wing there and having to take avoiding action. Nico Rosberg makes a move up the inside. We now find ourselves 5th, but they're going to go very slow through this left-hand turn, and we go round the outside of both of them. Alonso lacking downforce with no front wing. He's holding up the rest of the field, and now I can get away in 3rd place from the grid. What a great start. Rosberg's just about made it. No, he hasn't. He hasn't made it up the inside of Alonso at all. He's holding up everyone else behind like a treat as Hamilton now leads this race from Vettel in 2nd through here. Massive slide and a huge overcorrection. That was completely my fault, and I feel like an utter tit there as Rosberg runs into the back of me, but I could have escaped the rest of the ensuing pack behind there. Big slide again. That's one thing I've been finding very difficult with this career mode, is a lot of oversteer in this Williams. As you can see, the clouds are descending over the track. It's very cloudy, it's very overcast as we go very wide there. Rosberg now just behind. He's going to have the advantage of curves, although so will I. I use the rest of my curves down the straight, and we can escape from him down now into the last turn even. But yeah, the clouds in the sky are covering the track. There was a 28% chance of rain going into this race, so there is a possibility this could be a rain-affected race. And later on in the race, I am told that it will rain. I think it's actually pretty much at this point that in 15 minutes from now, there will be rain on the agenda, on the arrival, on the radar, as Raikkonen makes a move now on Rosberg behind us. We're now on lap 2 and making it through here, the 2nd corner, with a train of cars behind. I don't know if Alonso's pitted. I would assume so, for a new front wing. If he has, that's completely ruined his race. If he hasn't, well, it's ruined his race anyway, because he's very slow without that front wing. We're already 7 seconds behind Vettel here after just 1 and a bit laps. Raikkonen behind, followed by Rosberg, and then a gaggle of many guys. By the way, my teammate started 17th on the grid, didn't make it into Q2 even. He was eliminated at the first hurdle, if you like, as well as Adrian Suter, so he will be starting quite a long way at the back. We've not done well through there And we've gone very wide even now. I can't get my words out at the moment, but Raikkonen now all over the back of us. We've gone a little bit wide there, but we still managed to maintain the position. There is a big train now developing behind us, but that wasn't helped really by the fact that Fernando Alonso was holding most of them up. But they're a bit of a slide. Raikkonen there, just closing up behind, apparently only half a second going through the last split. I find that hard to believe now. You can even see the Lotus now in my mirror. We've gone wide through there again. I'm not great through that turn. I do go wide quite a lot of the time. Now moving on to lap 3 here, as I did manage to hold them off down the back straight. Raikkonen still the man behind, in for Rosberg's there as well. I think that could be Webber. Mark Webber's there. Grosjean's in the mix as well. And a few others, maybe Hulkenberg after his incredible start should be up there too. Wide there onto the AstroTurf on the left-hand side. Sebastian Vettel's taken the lead from Hamilton. In the meantime, I've gone horrendously wide, and Kimi Raikkonen makes it through into third. Schoolboy error there. That was completely my fault. I don't know what I was doing. Just completely missed the apex, ended up going wide. Hulkenberg's there as well, running right up towards the back of Raikkonen, who has also shot on the option tyres. I don't think there's many people who started on the prime tyres, actually. But as you can see, my tyres starting to wear, and this is not good because I've got to make them last until the end of lap 7. My strategy at this point, I'm questioning it because my tyre wear is quite big, and I don't think I can last another 4 laps based on the tyre wear so far. Massive slide out of that turn though, and now Nico Hulkenberg is all over the back of us. He's just breezed past. He had the advantage of DRS, although so did I. Nico Rosberg's here as well. It's carnage. There's a McLaren behind as well, and Mark Webber too. We've gone back up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg through the last turn. Clouds in the sky all over the show as Vettel sets the fastest lap of the race. I've got DRS though to my advantage because I was in the DRS zone going through the last turn. Hulkenberg appears to have it though too, and Rosberg's in with a shout of a move as well there. Kimi Raikkonen there, we close up to him through into the first corner. Big slide though there. Hulkenberg's arrows behind were showing he was very close as we now start lap 4. And I think the main objective is trying to hold off the people behind because we've got a massive amount of tyre wear, as you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, and a massive train behind. I don't think we're quicker than them anyway. As we now move later on into the lap, we've gone horrendously wide. I've got no grip at all. Hulkenberg there moving past. Perez hits me. He must have got past Rosberg at some stage, and he's lost the end plate, end fence, or whatever it's called, of his front wing. Rosberg going around the outside of him to try and make it into P5, but we hold both of them off down into the last turn. I've got no grip at all. My tyres are gone, and I've still got a few more laps to go. At this point, I'm a bit of a career mode noob in this sense, as Rosberg breezes past us down the straight. We're going to use curves to try and get into a zone to get past him again. As Perez closed up, we go down the inside again and retake 5th for the umpteenth time in this race. But yeah, and I'd set my strategy. Unfortunately, I couldn't. Well, I could change it, I suppose, but to be quite honest, I don't know how to. I don't actually know how to. I haven't bought one of these games in so long. I should have researched it, admittedly. And I do think I play around with it at some stage to set primes for my next stop. But I didn't actually know how to set the stoppers that time. I didn't know if I went in without that as my strategy, whether they just wouldn't be ready for me. I have to drive through the pit lane. So at this point, I'm driving on pretty much the carcass of the tyre. I've got no grip left whatsoever, holding up everyone behind. Rosberg, a damaged-looking Sergio Perez. I think there's a Ferrari in there as well. I will guess that's Felipe Massa. Mark Webber, I would assume, is there as well, and Roman Grosjean probably in the second of the Lotuses. But Nico Hulkenberg's having a great race there, up in 4th. Great race for him. As you can see, out of that last turn, the amount of wheel spin was beyond belief. Out of the turns, look at that bright red already there. And here it is. This was where I was trying to change it and going up to primes. I didn't know whether that would set a pit stop this lap. It didn't, as it turned out, and I've gone wide into here. Horrendously wide. Nothing left. Rosberg goes through. Perez is through. Never mind. Perez is through. Webber's through. Everyone's through. Felipe Massa's closing in on me as well. He goes to the outside. I've used all my curves. Webber's now with Sergio Perez. Someone else is there. Massa. What a move that was. I don't know where to begin with this. We looked at the inside of Perez. Massa's gone through. Grosjean's appeared out of nowhere. And I've been breezed past by everyone. Grosjean's here. Gutierrez has come out of nowhere. He's 10th. This is the lap where I pit. I've lunged up the inside of everyone. I've taken Perez out wide with me. Massa's here. Rosberg's ahead, just laughing at us all, ganging up on each other. Massa's going to go round the outside because I've got absolutely no purchase on these rear tyres whatsoever. Perez here is in 8th. He's all over the show. Grosjean's gone up the inside. Gutierrez is there. I don't know where Webber's gone. I've got absolutely no idea where he's gone. Wide through there. I missed the apex. I've got a massive slide on. Perez has gone back up the inside of Grosjean, even though it hasn't updated on the left-hand side. Massa's already sprung away. I've got miles wide out there. Wide again. I've got no grip at all. Out onto the left-hand side of the track. Perez goes through. Gutierrez goes through. And Grosjean gets smashed into by Jenson Button. That's another McLaren with front wing damage. Webber's in there as well. There's a yellow flag. Green flags are out. But Grosjean's out. I can see the yellow flags now. And the safety car has been deployed. This is the first safety car I've actually seen on the entirety of F1 2013. This is the first time I've seen a safety car. We're down to 20 men on the top left there, which would suggest Grosjean's out. Button was the man who hit him. Webber's actually passed Button now under safety car conditions. I don't know whether he'll get a penalty for that. Maldonado's there showing as well. As now I make my pit stop at the end of this lap. This has worked out well now with the safety car in. I can pit under these conditions. This is very good. Hopefully, well, for everyone else's sake, they'll pit at the same time as well, or under the safety car at some stages. Force India have their mechanics out. There's quite a few people coming into the pit lane. It's a good pit stop now as I put on a fresh pair of prime tyres. I get them mixed up all the time. The harder compound. And these should last till the end. A, because they're a harder compound than the option tyre, and B, because I'm going to be spending at least 3 laps probably behind the safety car now. So really, they're going to only have to do about 4 actual proper laps as we come out now in 13th. But at the end now of the safety car period, that actually only lasted for 2 laps. We are in 11th place. Maldonado just behind, so things have really worked out for him. He's in with a shout of the points. Alonso here as well ahead, just weaving now to get some temperature into the tyres, a bit of braking as well to get some temperature into the brakes. But 11th, so in theory we've lost 2 places, but I don't know whether people ahead still have to pit for them. If they do, they've completely ruined their own race, because they're going to have no chance of getting any points. There, Alonso braking. That's really compromised my exit out of the first turn, and the last turn even. But Alonso is in. There was Di Resta, I think, in a Force India in as well. I've now got Maldonado all over the back of me. Someone else is there as well. That could be a Sauber, I don't know. But ahead here we've got a McLaren, we've got a Sauber, and we've got Massa. That's Massa, Gutierrez, and that could be Perez. I'm not sure. I doubt Button is ahead. Perez was the leading McLaren when the safety car came out. We've got Mark Webber behind. We're going to be trying to look to catch the 3 ahead. Massa, Perez, and Gutierrez. Maldonado's still there in 11th. He is in with a shout of the points. Of course, Webber could have a penalty for passing under the safety car, because I'm quite sure he passed Jenson Button while that safety car was out. But nevertheless, we're catching Felipe Massa, who's now all over the back of the Sauber driver Esteban Gutierrez, who I think started 11th on the grid at this Grand Prix. Started 20th, of course, in Australia. We've gone very wide there, and now Mark Webber is all over the back of us, using a bit of curves down into this left-hand corner, and closing right up with Massa, who's really compromised by Esteban Gutierrez's line through there. Pretty much everyone now on the prime tyre. We're down to 20, of course. We've lost Grosjean. I'm not entirely sure who the other driver is, as we clip the bollard there on the inside. That got a terrible run out of there. Webber trying to look up the inside, but giving up on it in the end. Maldonado still there in 11th, having a good race as well. We'll be looking to get his first points of the season. We've done well through there. Finally hitting the apex now as we go on to the back straight, using some curves down the back straight. In fact, using most of my curves actually, as now Massa looks round the outside of Esteban Gutierrez. Will he make the move stick? He does, and that means Gutierrez is ridiculously slow through there. Just why he needed to be so slow through there is beyond me. But we're now along the round the outside even of Gutierrez as Vettel sets the fastest lap of the race. Webber goes through as well. Gutierrez gets sandwiched. I find myself 8th, but Webber's on my inside. We brake later for the corner and just about maintain 8th position. But Gutierrez losing 2 places there, down 1 straight, and now has Maldonado for company as well. In the meantime, we'll be looking to try and keep up with Felipe Massa ahead, as he now hunts down the McLaren ahead of him in 6th place. I do believe that is Sergio Perez. Now moving on to late on in lap 10, DRS down the back straight as Massa goes round the outside of Perez. That appears to be his favourite move, and he's made it stick again, this time on Sergio Perez. Different driver, but the same result. We've got Webber there for company as well. Just behind we do have DRS, Webber will as well. Perez should have thought too. Webber really closing in on us, but we're not closing in a huge amount on Perez. We are going to think about the inside line, but not this time. Not going to make it through this time. But Felipe Massa now closing in on a battle ahead. I think that's between Raikkonen and Rosberg. A tiny bit of contact there between myself and Sergio Perez now as we exit turn 2. I think this is a turn, I'm not sure, but as you can see, that was specks of rain. Those were specks of rain. The rain has arrived, as was predicted. As we lunge up the inside of Sergio Perez, we are going to start to lose grip because effectively we're on slicks when we should be on, well, not on intermediates yet. Obviously, it's only spitting with rain, literally. But later on in the race, this could be quite dramatic rain. It is spitting, and goodness me, we could end up pitting and having to put intermediates on. That would change the race completely, but Webber's now behind. And where's Sergio Perez gone? Well, green flag would indicate there was once a yellow flag, so that would indicate that Webber's just taken out Perez. Well, if he didn't have a penalty before, surely he's got a penalty now. Perez is gone. He's out of the equation. He's had a really dramatic race. He's lost his front wing, and now he's been taken out by Webber. But now, as the rain begins to pelt down on this Malaysian track, Mark Webber makes his move there on the penultimate lap, down into the last corner, and looking to try and hold on. Well, not hold on, I've lost my 7th already. I'm trying to maintain my 8th, trying to get it back. We're going on to the final lap of the race now. Of course, we were unable to keep up with Felipe Massa and the battle that he was involved with, but DRS means we can lunge up the inside of Mark Webber into the first turn. We should have a good amount of grip in terms of tyre wear, but the rain, as it's getting heavier, will really start to compromise that. No one's had to come in for intermediates. It's not been that wet, and it won't get that wet by the end of this race, but there is a small amount of spray starting to come off my front tyres here as we lunge down now into turn 3/turn 4. I don't know. It depends if the kink is counted as a corner, but we're now going to try and get away from Mark Webber. Of course, this battle might be useless, because I don't know if Mark Webber does actually have a penalty. We've gone wide though there. The rain's still getting heavier now as we go into these right-hand corners. We're not maintaining a gap now to Mark Webber, which means by the time we get down to the straights, he will have DRS. He's gone up the inside, and that, I'm sorry, come on, Mark, come on. There was contact there down the straight. He's edged me out as well, so that's not really great tactics there from Mark Webber, edging me out, and a little bit heavy there. But it is raining. It's raining heavier. We've got half of our curves left, but Webber's taking off into the distance. I've got Esteban Gutierrez behind. He shouldn't catch me unless I go really wide somewhere or go off. Vettel's won as we go down the backstretch. We've got DRS. We're going to use curves, but we're not going to be anywhere near Mark Webber by the time we get into the braking zone. And yeah, dearie me. Well, Webber's got 7th, and that's quite annoying. We are dropped down to 8th. We could, of course, have 7th. Maldonado is in the points there as well. He's in 10th currently, and we're going to cross the line for a respectable, well, let's see, respectable 7th. Mark Webber did get a penalty. I've failed my objective, my completely unrealistic objective, in all honesty. But we do get 7th, which does mean Mark Webber did have a penalty, a 20-second penalty, as you can see there, and that dropped him to 12th, meaning that Maldonado got 9th. Perez might not have been taken out, actually, because he only dropped to 10th there. Sutil just missing out on points, having started 18th on the grid. But it is a win for Vettel. 2nd for Hamilton, 3rd Rosberg, then Hulkenberg getting a great 4th ahead of Raikkonen and Massa. I got 7th, so a respectable finish there for me. Gutierrez 8th, Maldonado 9th. And rounding out the top 10 and the points, Sergio Perez there. Some names outside of the points there. Webber 12th, Alonso 13th there, De Resta down in 15th. Toro Rosso, it's not getting any better for them. Button down in 19th as well. And we, of course, lost Jules Bianchi and Romain Grosjean. So Bianchi was the other guy to lose out. But in the Drivers' Championship, that means Nico Rosberg is leading on 40 points. He has a 12-point advantage ahead of Kimi Raikkonen. Sebastian Vettel, with that win, moves on to 25 points and into 3rd. Hamilton is 4th. Massa 5th. Perez there 6th. Then we've got Hulkenberg 7th, Button 8th, Gutierrez there in a respectable 9th. I find myself in 10th ahead of Mark Webber, so that's great news for me. Maldonado 12th, then Grosjean, Sutil, Alonso there down in 15th on no points there, and the rest, the Caterhams, the Marussias and the Toro Rossos with no points. In the Constructors' Championship, it is Mercedes who lead by a mile ahead of Red Bull, Lotus, Mercedes, Sauber, Ferrari and Williams who find ourselves in 7th. But I'm hoping you've enjoyed this episode. Like and subscribe if you did. Comment about enjoying it if you enjoyed it that much. This episode was meant to be shorter. That was a lie because it was quite an entertaining race, even not game. I'm in FIFA mode. But yeah, of course, the next round will be in China at Shanghai. It's been a pleasure ranting with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day and goodbye. I tell you what, before now, if I told you that Etihad were the sponsor of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, I don't think you'd believe me. Nonetheless, in other news, we're ready to get underway.